everyone. Welcome back to A Pact Made in
Literally the
Amber.
hood underneath the headphones.
Toasty.
I haven't
Look,
I haven't moved it around yet.
look. It can be that way sometimes. Oh, God. Actually, I need to turn off my heater. One, because it is a little too toasty in my room. Two, I have to... Odie keeps, like, sitting directly on the heater, burning his fur, and then short-circuiting the heater. Like, the heater will be like, I got no airflow, boss! And just shut itself off for a while. And it's very frustrating. Because he's a big dumb boy. Anyways, welcome back to A Pact Made in Amber. We're going to do a little bit of a recap, and then we will jump into playing. So, previously... Whoop, something. Oh, that's a bug flying at my lights. Previously, on A Pact Made in Amber, the crew of the Unfortunate Scorpion continued their shore leave, working on personal projects and investigating situations based on the bits and pieces of information each of them held about their own endeavors, which we got a little bit more of a backstory on last time as well. Acting on information provided by Johan, Uvik and Higgins went searching for Ambrosio down in the Raiden White Metal, but due to the various laws of self-governance that they have there, only one of them was allowed to enter. So this, Higgins ended up returning to the Scorpion to work on his new recipes, while Uvik pressed on to search for their missing compatriot. In the meantime, Cobb visited the divers' quarters in the naval yard, and Bansii followed up on the information she had found the previous day about the fires that had been happening in Pouso. This took Bansii into the civilian dockyards to a burnt-out husk of a warehouse. There, she managed to spook a group of Vannermen, and then was able to have a discussion about the fire with a local watchman who was amicable, provided a fair amount of information about the warehouse itself and what was being stored there and who was renting it, etc., etc. She also ended up getting a tip from that same watchman to visit the taverns in the upper docks in order to make more headway on the search for information pertaining to the sigil that Higgins had shown to the party. The watchman seemed to couldn't exactly recall, but thought that he might have seen that sigil with some mercenaries that frequent that area. Uvik, for his part, spent absolute hours searching the winding maze of the metal, completely lost and unable to find Ambrosio. Almost about to give up, the extremely conspicuous Time Raider lucked out, and his quarry found him. Ambrosio apologized for not returning to the ship on time, but then warned Uvik that he hadn't done so because he had seen some fellow Raiden Whites with amber eyes coming out of the music hall, the theater, the realm of an individual known as the Conductor. Unsure of what to do, the two decided to have Ambrosio remain there to investigate, but to return to the ship regardless of what he had found by midnight. And I think it was after that point that we kind of determined that the group was reconvening back at the vessel in the naval yard in Pouso. So, as we kind of like come back, I imagine it's probably below decks in the kitchen or something like that, where Higgins is often hanging out. And all of you filter in your own time to talk about everything that you've discovered around the table in the kitchen, or the table in the dining room that is adjacent to the kitchen so that Higgins can like shout through the door what's happening.
You also forgot the new budding relationship between Yuvik and Carrot.
Between Yuvik and Carrot.
Yeah.
A true bromance for the ages that cannot be understated and was firmly sealed with gifts delivered from Yuvik upon his departing the metal. Also forgot to mention the completely normal and not strange in any way sightings of many raccoons by Yuvik in the metal and by Bansii in the warehouses, or atop the warehouses. So, you've all reconvened back aboard the Scorpion. It's probably early-ish evening at this point. What would you like to do? Share some information. Talk amongst yourselves.
Yeah, did I share? Like, I don't remember if I had a chance to
This
come
is-
back and share with Higgins.
This is now that chance.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
Okay, so Bansii will go to Higgins immediately and let him know that some of her she spoke to some of the guard, and the guard felt like the symbol that he described was very familiar, and that we should go to this bar. I don't remember where, DM, you're gonna have to help me, but go to this bar to investigate and see if we saw it anywhere in that tavern.
So that particular watchman did not give you a specific bar. He just gave you, there's a bunch of taverns in a place that he called the Upper Docks. That he said mercenary companies frequent that area. So probably ask around in that kind of like, that zone, basically.
Okay.
Yeah, and she'll say that she would like to accompany you on your journey to do that.
Sure. That sounds great. Thank you for asking around for me, Bansii.
Of course.
I found our missing crewmate, and you may notice that he's not back yet. There's a reason for that.
What happened to Bro?
Bro, wait, Bro's Carrot though. I haven't introduced you. That I gotta. Oh no, you know who he is. You were there temporarily. Were you there?
Yeah, I was there at the beginning. They got kicked out.
Higgins got rejected at the doorway.
I was told
But
not
yes.
good enough.
So, Ambrosio during his leave said he saw other Raiden Whites with glowing amber eyes. And they came from the direction of somebody down there known as the Conductor.
Take a
And I
moment
feel
and look
like
at the glaive. Is it like glowing? Am I the reason that they're turning? Because I brought this here?
Where is the glaive right now?
I don't know, probably like on my back or like nearby in the kitchen.
Do you have a place? Do you just keep it like strapped to your back, or do you have a place where you like lean it in the kitchen?
In the kitchen, yeah, probably have like a little weapon holder thing for
Like a
when
little
we're standing
rack
around.
on the side of the door, so you can
Yeah.
quickly
no.
you can
It's just
stick it, and
hung
then if
next to
something
all of his
happens, you can
cans.
snag it while you're running up the. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, exactly.
Alright.
But I
You-
have kept it wrapped to make it not stand out while we've
You
been here.
look over to that weapon rack, and it's wrapped in exactly where you left it.
Trying to make me think it got stolen, Jamie. I'll end you. Okay, I'm gonna go look at it. Is it glow? Is it doing shady, evil, glowy shit?
You know, take off some of the covering. It doesn't when light hits it in a particular way, because it is made of amber, it does have a like faint refractive glow to it. But it doesn't like glow of its own accord, or it hasn't glown of its own accord in your hands or in your possession. And it's not doing so now.
Okay. Good to know. No.
So,
Okay. Well, that's concerning.
yeah. There's an additional wrinkle. I learned through my time there that the Rain Whites aren't particularly fond of us or the Navy in general. Any governing body outside of their own.
Cobb will grunt in agreement with that, right? Cobb's sitting at the table. He'll grunt in agreement with that, and he'll say, "They got laws that, I mean, most of the communities have laws of self-governance. They have to pay their taxes, and they have to submit for like official things, but just general, they govern themselves. They have their own guards." And they don't take kindly to other factions poking around in their business.
Yeah, I'm putting that together. So here's the problem. We either raise this to our superior, and they may march a force down into the metal and do irreparable harm to relations, or we do nothing, and it is possible that a lot of people in the metal die whenever some of them turn.
Or we go in and take care of it ourselves.
We could do that. We could get in trouble for that, but I think I'm okay with that too.
We only
by the
get
way,
in trouble if we get caught.
Yeah. Anyways, just don't get caught. But we're just waiting for Mr. Oldham to come back. I offered to do some reconnaissance with him, but he pointed out that number one, I don't know where the fuck I'm going, and number two, kind of stick out like a sore thumb down there. I kind of got a little lost. All right, I got a lot lost. Like Zoro and One Piece lost.
Yes, Zoro in One Piece.
Zoro,
Excellent reference.
A tale all here know.
Yes, the tale of pirates and
look,
and
the One Piece is out there, guys.
I swear to God, if you change your character motivation to be like, find the One Piece,
Goldie Roger left it out there.
I will just sink
Jimmy,
you.
I have a question about the magic of this world, since we don't know much about it, having not played it for long. Is there like transfiguration magic or illusion or illusory magic that we could possibly pay for to make ourselves look like Raiden Whites for this clandestine operation?
I would say that I would say two things, and this will be kind of like in comparison to the D&D Forgotten Realms setting that we're more familiar with, right? In what we kind of play. So the first would be is that magic in the way that it works in this world or in this universe is fundamentally very different, but for all intents and purposes does translate very easily to the same way that you would think of it as in D&D from a conceptual standpoint, like the existence of illusion, the existence of necromancy, the transmutation, enchantment. All those things still exist in this world. They're just called different things at times, and they have like different requirements for how they work, etc., etc. But the theoretical concept of, do these things exist? Absolutely they exist. So that's the first thing. The second thing that I would say from my interpretation of the world of Ord and the cosmos that it inhabits is that magic is at the same time almost more pervasive, but to a lesser extent. And what I mean by that is that, like, Bansii is straight up using magic, right? Like, absolutely straight up using magic. Some of the shit you're doing as Higgins people might say it's not magic, or you might have explanations for it not being magic. It's pretty fucking magic. And some of the shit Yuvik is doing is also like, how is that not magic? It's not magic, but it's still force of will plus some kind, maybe magic, questionable, etc., right? So the point there is a lot of people can do a lot of things that seem quite magical, but on the mid to higher end scale, magic is rarer as a whole from a commonplace. So, whereas in D&D, for example, this is kind of it's kind of a hard sell, because for a lot of the times I like to play in like high magic environments. So like, for example, when we were playing in Dungeon of the Mad Mage, we're in Waterdeep. Waterdeep is one of the greatest cities in Forgotten Realms. And it means that even if magic is rarer in the countryside, it's not really rare there. So, but that all is to say that, like, a lot of people in the world of Ord can do things that seem magical or are a little magical, but just going over to a shop and being like, hey, can you magic us up something is pretty damn rare. That's not to say that there might not be one or two places here in a city of this size. And in Capital, it's a very, very different answer, right? Because Capital is more like a Waterdeep kind of situation of like, it is the greatest city in this or any age, and thus has a different vibe and affords a different scenario. Like people who are powerful congregate there. Not so much in this little island city, right? So the answer to your question after all of that long-winded explanation, the long-winded explanation is set for world building, so people have a better understanding of what they're dealing with. But the answer to that question is probably not. Maybe if you get lucky and you find the right person, but probably not. You'd probably have a better chance of, like, actually hiring Raiden Whites or something like that to do investigations for you or something, you know.
Well, I'm just trying to think of like how we get in there to stop whatever is turning them.
I'll say two things.
First of all, we're waiting for Ambrosio to come back from his reconnaissance.
He's supposed to come back at midnight.
Supposedly, if all things go according to Keikaku, Keikaku means he should be back on the deck here in a few hours.
Yeah, well, it's early evening, so it's probably like 6-ish, so 5 to 6 hours ish around there.
Yeah, so we've time to head down to the upper dock for 100%. A bit. And...
Yeah. You absolutely have time to go do some other shit first. So other two things that I will note that your characters now know, even if you the players don't necessarily remember it, but Yuvik and Higgins, when you were speaking to Carrot let slip that there is more than one entrance into the metal.
Yeah.
Right? And Carrot let one of you in. So theoretically, several of you could get in just by going to different entrances. And the other
and then
thing,
hope that we find each other.
yeah, that could be a problem, right? But then the other thing is Ambrosio told you, Yuvik, when you two were discussing things, he told you he felt like he could get you all in if necessary.
Yes. Thank you for reminding me that. I relay that to the party.
Did you guys mention the raccoons at all?
No. Did
Okay.
you mention the raccoons at all?
No. I'm trying to decide. No, I think I'll have Bansii mention them if she sees them one more time. If you guys had mentioned it, like, she probably would have brought it up
I'll
as
mention
weird.
it. Also, did y'all see? I saw some raccoons when it was coming out of the metal. It was weird. I tried to see where they were going, but it was just so conveniently, like, just right out of, like, where I think I could feasibly get to them.
Yeah, and Bansii will mention then that she also saw the raccoons coming out of the warehouse district where the fire, like, where the fire was of the warehouse.
After
There's
also getting attacked
definitely
on
something
a boat.
going on with the goddamn raccoons.
There's something happening with the raccoons. We should be wary.
There's definitely a problem.
Mm.
I feel like it's
Maybe-
important.
Who's the guy, Odie? What was the information that I got from
Johan?
what's his Johan? Where Odie might be that we could
Yeah,
check in with him?
he told you he set up, well, not really set up a meeting, but he found out where Odysseus is now kind of stationed. And surprise, surprise, it's a tavern in the upper civilian dockyards.
Hell yeah! All right.
And if you ask Johan for confirmation, he'll tell you, yeah, he asked around, and that's where Odysseus is staying now, where he's conducting business, and it's a place called the Amber Dream.
Oh, how interesting!
Oh,
Amber
wow.
returns. All right. Well, sounds like all roads lead to the Upper Docks Tavern district. Have you guys eaten? I start the oven up, the stove.
We didn't
Like,
answer.
it's the mom move of, I don't care what your answer is. I asked you, have you eaten? But really, what I mean is, I'm gonna make you food.
No, I gave all my food to Carrot, my new best friend. That I had in the metal.
That's hurtful, Master Uvik. But I will make you a delicious grilled cheese anyway.
Grilled
Bansii
cheese.
won't say anything, but she'll look around to see if you have any cookies on the counter.
I have a crate of cookies.
I was about to say, because didn't you say you were gonna make a second batch?
Yeah,
Yeah, you
Yeah.
did.
I doubled up on cookie making.
Double
today.
batch. Hell yeah, double batch.
Yeah, so she'll
Awesome.
subtly grab a few.
Nom 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 nom.
Subtly.
That's right.
Sweet. Okay.
Love
You make us a quick meal. Everyone eats. And I guess the assumption now is you're all gonna group up and go to this tavern and see what you can figure out.
I'll ask
think that's
Cobb
the
if
plan.
he would be cool with staying on deck to allow. Was it Robert that was being unable to?
I think Robert actually got you when you came back last time. You let Robert go on shore leave.
Yeah.
So Johan and
Yeah, because I let him go, and I said
Johan
I
and
would stay on
Chella
deck.
are on board the vessel now. So it's basically like always having two people on board is the scenario. So that would mean
Can we
that
for everyone
all of you could leave with Johan
Okay.
and Chella on board, and things would
Okay.
be fine. Okay, so you all do some light snacking, and make to leave, and it is as you are leaving, as you come up on deck, you find there is a naval officer with a small contingent of guards, just 3 guards there. And it's this woman, very like straight-laced looking in official uniform, very kind of like pale, tired looking, straight, like a straight bob cut, kind of flaxen hair. And she doesn't even hesitate. You all are like coming up on deck as she is walking up the gangplank. And she just points at Cobb and says, Cobb. And she holds out, reaches in her breast pocket, holds out a missive to him. He grunts and
Damn, I
trundles
thought you were gonna
over,
arrest him.
grabs it.
I did
What are
too.
you doing?
I was like, oh shit.
Opens it up and starts reading and kind of muttering. Before he turns and he looks at all of you and says, well, I guess have some drinks for me. I have been reassigned. And he'll tell you, it looks like there's a vessel that was sunk off the northwest coast that they're putting together a salvage team for. Something valuable, something very vaguely, and he turns to the woman as he's kind of saying this, something very vaguely hinted at but not specified in this document needs to be recovered by a diving salvage crew. And she's straight-faced. She shows no emotions, does not react, does not hint at anything. He just shrugs and says, guess I'll get my things.
I initially was going to tell you that you were breaking my immersion by not mentioning that Cobb was a Master Navy diver. But then you brought it back. You brought it back.
Yeah. So Bansii will wish him the best and that knows that the best diver is on the case. So looking forward to him coming back if he can be reassigned.
Yeah.
Yep.
You always have a place on the unfortunate scarp.
That's right.
He nods. He
I
says,
sent him
I know, it's my
with
ship.
a sandwich.
You send him with a sandwich. He will say his goodbyes to all of you, with the kind of concept of like, they were extremely vague in this note. Might be days, might be weeks, might be months. Hopefully not. We'll see. And fingers crossed. Good luck with the.
Stay away from the eel.
He like very like good luck with the everything that's happening.
Gonna need it.
And then he'll head below deck to gather his things, which he doesn't have a lot of stuff. He travels pretty light, as all of you kind of do in the station that you currently hold. But he is off to perform the duties that the Navy requires of him, and we will see if he returns at a later date. And in that time,
I was about to say, he could be carrying nothing, and he's still not traveling light.
He's still not traveling light. All right, so in the meantime, the 3 of you are able to head off vessel out of the naval yard to the south, kind of following that same path that you took earlier today, Bansii. Traveling down the naval dockyards until you get to the wall that separates the upper district and the inner district and the outer district. And into the kind of like section of the civilian docks that is kind of on the richer-ish side of town, or at least richer side of town adjacent, right? It's not, it's basically the further south you go along the bay, the poorer it gets, the further away from the naval yard and the rich area. But you kind of like make it to that in-between section, and there's just, you see there's half a dozen big taverns, not just like you walk in and there's just a bar and a row of chairs. These are like big places, and you can see a lot of them are taverns. Some of them are taverns and inns, places for wealthy merchants to set up shop while they're doing business here in Pozo. And you eventually find yourself standing in front of a place called the Amber Dream.
Amber.
Super sus.
And it's a big ass building. It is a large tavern. As far as you can tell, it's not an inn. It doesn't seem to have like rooms for rent or anything like that. But it's not a bar. It's a tavern, right? So people come here to not just drink, but to like eat their evening meals. A lot of like dock workers, sailors, etc., etc. This place seems to be fitting right in between the very upscale, like high-end places where the wealthy merchants are staying, and it's below that, but it's above just like a smallish pub that just, the poorest dock workers are drinking away at. So this is kind of like in that middle ground where it's a large, nice-ish, relatively well-kept building, but it's firmly kind of like middle grade in the type of clientele that it's serving. You can see as you're coming up to it, there's a lot of foot traffic coming and going. There isn't any like music coming from it, so there doesn't seem to be any sort of like live entertainment or anything like that, but there's enough people in the place that it is bustling and loud-ish, but not like roaringly loud. And as you come in, it has a little sign above the top of the building that says the Amber Dream. Nothing stylized, nothing like, there's no symbol or anything like that. But as you come in to the kind of like entryway, there are these big amber rugs that kind of cover the floor of the entryway and then lead off to the right, which leads into the main tavern area. And the whole way is covered in these big, relatively well kept, well cared for, especially considering like the amount of muddy foot traffic that would come into a place like this. These amber carpets, these amber rugs, which grant the name, or at least the namesake of the Amber Dream.
I have a question.
Hit me with questions.
So one of the things that I built into Bansii was like the rumor skills and a lot of like the I don't know, it's like eavesdropping and those kinds of things. Is this an environment like that can be used, or do those skills have to be used in like combat, or I don't even know?
No, absolutely. I think that's 100%. Specifically, both of those I think would be extremely applicable here. You will probably have multiple opportunities to eavesdrop on people here. And
so like it's alertness, eavesdrop, hide, and read person, and then rumors, right? Like all of those together. I wanted like her to be intimidating when she's visible, but kind of like blending into the back room when she wants to be. So like I don't know if like a hide stat or something would be something that would be.
I imagine Bansii being this kind of like I don't imagine it like this, but I had this flash of like Bansii being almost like an owl in a corner, right? Where she's like, if she turns her head to face everyone everybody notices her. It's just
Right.
like, oh shit, that undead creature in the corner is looking at me. But if she like full 180s her head away, nobody notices her. She's just like there
Well, right,
and
'cause she's
listening
in
to everybody.
she's in elvish clothing,
Yeah.
and she looks like she's
It's
not
probably,
really
you
a
know,
thing,
you
and then all of
just-
a sudden she turns around and is
Yeah.
like, "Whoa!"
It's
So
one of those
question,
scenarios
do
that
you
like you
want
just
to
put your hood up.
be inconspicuous?
That's
Because
what I
I
guess
am a
I'm trying
math.
to determine in this, because what we're doing, like my thought here is that we're gonna go in and we're gonna be looking for that sigil, or at least she's gonna be looking for that sigil, and like trying to be as inconspicuous as possible to try to figure out more information.
So
So
Higgins
of.
was. I was actually thinking about this as we were walking over here, so I might retcon this a little bit. I would not want. I don't know if the people I'm looking for know that I'm looking for them, but I wouldn't want them to see a big ol' Hakan coming in looking for him and be like, hey, wait a minute, that's familiar. So I would probably be looking to disguise myself. And
Okay.
I have skill in disguising. So if you'd like, Madam Bansii, I can do your
Yeah.
makeup and try to
Yeah.
make you look not undead.
Well,
Oh.
how does
Oh.
hide work, Jeremy?
Well, so hide would be more of like a battlefield or like a tense kind of like scenario. Hide is
Yep.
less of just like an ambient, you know, like trying to be low key could be hide in the right situations, but the scenario around that is probably more along the lines of like, if you stick out, you're gonna stick out in a social environment, regardless of whether or not you're trying to. Like, it's the guy who tries to hide behind the drapes in the Oval Office or whatever type thing. People are gonna see you regardless. But the question is whether they clock you or not. So disguising yourself to look like people are gonna double take at an undead elf, right? Even if they're not gonna freak out because they're Riohan. They're still gonna be like, whoa, okay, undead elf, cool. But if Higgins like does a little bit of light makeup and you just look like a pale-ish elf rather than an undead elf, then that'll go a long way to make people just be like, oh, whatever, an elf just walked in, who cares, you know?
But both of you play characters that are very large, right? Like I'm the only normal-sized character.
You've
Or
accepted.
no, that was Cobb.
No,
Higgins is
I'm
very
a-
large. Yuvik is tall, but not crazy tall. He's like 6'2", 6'3", somewhere in there, right?
I'm tall and lean.
Yeah,
And
so
I'm
he's
also
not like a
tucking
giant
my-
boy.
But are
I'm also tucking
you're
my
not
arm.
like a race or class or something that people would be like, oh my god.
He's
It's just me and
I
Higgins,
mean-
right? We're the ones that are like,
he's
"Ugh."
green, but because he hides his arms, right, his second pair of arms, most people mistake him as an orc. And there are plenty of orcs
Okay.
in the world. That's a completely common thing, you know, not a big deal.
Okay, cool. Yeah, Bansii will be all for disguise and like trying to be under the radar because she's a big fan of getting as much information as possible.
And so to kind of touch on some of the things that we were discussing, so eavesdrop specifically is actively listening to something that is hard to hear, such as whispered conversation through a door or something like that. I think 100% applicable in a loud bar to be like, it's the concept of sitting close to someone and seeing if you can overhear their conversation, that type of thing. Easy peasy, 100%. And then rumors is listed as knowing gossip, legends, and uncertain truths. And I would translate that even further to probably, if you come to an area where you don't know the rumors, I would say you can use that skill to quickly learn the rumors in an area, right? Is the idea. So it's basically like a different type of persuasion is you can carouse or talk to people and get them to spill the beans on rumors based off of your skill in that. Other thing that I would say, Higgins, in the concept of you're not sure whether or not the people you're looking for know you're looking for them. I would say you're correct on that. The people that you're looking for don't necessarily know you're looking for them. Wait, hold up. Two ideas, two thoughts. My bad. The people about your sigil, right, do not know that you're looking for them necessarily, and you are of the opinion that you don't think you want them knowing. Okay, so that's one thing. But coming here to meet Odysseus, you didn't make like a meeting with him or anything like that. He doesn't necessarily know you're coming, but he does know you. So you should be able to interact with him without any real issues.
Sure. Okay. Makes sense.
Because he basically counts as a criminal underworld contact for you.
Got it. Okay. Sounds good.
So I put you all on a map. Please let me know if you cannot see the map or if there are issues on the map.
I see it.
It's a map. So yeah, we've got these amber rugs. That is the Amber Dream. So just kind of like maneuvering you all up to where we currently are. This is the main section of the Amber Dream, the tavern area. There are more people in here than this. I just didn't want to spend time clicking tokens and trying to fill out literally everything. It's not so packed in here that you can't move, that people are like shoulder to shoulder, but there are probably like twice as many of the people in here than what you can see right now. I would say is probably a good gauge. A couple of like servers, walking back and forth, two different bartenders behind the bar fixing drinks. And then as you walk in, you can see to the left there, over here, they've got a big ass kitchen. This place, this is what they do, right? Like they serve drinks and they serve meals. People, especially like dock workers or things like that, they eat often, maybe not breakfast, lunch, and dinner, but they often eat like 2 meals a day at an establishment like this. So this place is typically from dawn till well into the night, up and moving. And so what do you guys want to try to do as you head in here? What's your active goal?
Well, I think goal number 1 is try to find Odysseus.
Okay.
So probably see the token. Amazing.
You can't see that far, but
Oh my God, Jeremy!
Glorious.
Look. If I'm gonna do it, I'm gonna do it.
I will say to try and make myself less conspicuous as we headed here, I would have dressed myself into like dock worker laborer's clothes.
Sure.
Before coming here, like just trying to look like a drab dressed Hakan who just works lifting shit all day.
Not a Navy guy, basically.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I assume none of you are like walking in here just like in full naval uniform or brandishing naval like identification or anything like that.
Right.
So
No, Bansie's gonna be in like elvish clothes, and then apparently looking pretty alive right now.
looking a little life to the flesh going on at the moment. The eyes are maybe still an issue for you. You still have those like cold.
Sorry, I didn't have any
blue
contacts.
eyes.
I'm sorry.
Squint everywhere.
But yeah, so even for clarity, for you Higgins, right? Hakan are rare. They're not as rare as a time raider would be, right? Like if Yuvik walked in here with all 4 arms out, people would be like, "What the fuck? Holy shit!" But Hakan are rare, and you're probably gonna get looks. But they're not so rare that you're the only Hakan in a city of 20,000. There are probably a handful of other Hakan who actively live and work here. So you will not stick out like a sore thumb. It's just your size and the nature of your flesh are always
Yeah.
going to make people be like, oh shit, that's a big dude.
Totally get it.
Oh shit, that dude it has rock skin. Oh, that's
100%.
Hakan, right? So
Yeah, totally get it. My goal is more that yes, they would see me, but he wants to seem so boring that they're like, oh yeah, he's a rock guy, but whatever.
Yeah.
He's big.
well, I probably the
Big.
reaction that you get is the most interest you get is you'll get interest from other like big guys that are, you know, known for brawling that are like, huh, I can take him, kind of like scenarios. Or you'll get interest from like from entrepreneurs, people who hire people like what you're representing will look at you and be like, oh shit, I bet he can do
Want to lift some shit?
yeah, I bet he can lift twice as
Yeah.
much for me in a day as half the guys I hire. You know, like, damn. Let's see if he needs some work, type thing.
Sounds like you're being objectified.
But absolutely.
Offer
So
me jobs based on my body.
they do. It's you turn your group is always going to be that kind of group of you know, a rock man, an elf, and a green guy walk into a building. You're gonna turn heads, but in this world, that is not especially strange.
Mhm.
You know, so you all come in. A couple of people near the entrance see you. Some glance at you. Some hold their gaze a little longer. But for the most part, no one seems to care. One of the bartenders kind of like hails you, and you know, just kind of gestures about and says, you know, find a seat. If you can find one, find a seat. I think there's more in the back up the stairs, and a server will be with you, unless you want to stand here and wait for drinks, but we're a little busy. And if you want food, you know, table will probably be better for you.
All right, thanks. We're see if we can find a friend here.
You say that, he'll like chin up you and be like, who are you looking for?
He's a bit furry. Know anyone furry?
Yeah, he chuckles, and he'll say, only one person I know like that. Odie's in the back up the stairs to the right.
Appreciate it. I toss a coin onto the counter for him.
The coin manages like one bounce before this bartender just like snatches it out on the bounce out of the air,
Nice.
pockets
Ain't
it.
his first rodeo.
Like, yeah, it just seems used to it, right? Like, not a thing. No one seems to care that you're asking after someone. Who gives a shit? Whatever happens all the time.
Damn, these guys at the table to the right, they really be looking.
They're like, what are you guys doing over there?
They'd be like, "Excuse me, I do
the-
really like this token. It's just
That's funny.
probably not a good token for this setting." But
They're
as you're
holding
walking in,
open
you
their
do
visors
see
and just like,
you see a couple of Bansii.
Be right back,
You
one second.
can identify them more specifically. A group of watchmen are in this booth,
definitely watching.
and they're just eating. So they're not all garbed like this or holding banners, obviously, but you can
Do I
identify them.
recognize any of them?
You don't recognize any of these, no. They're none of the ones that you've met so far, but you do, like, you recognize the style of clothing that they wear. They're not, the watchmen in the lower or outer district don't all wear a single uniform, but they do dress similarly, and they all have, like, a badge or a pin or some identifying mark that you've clocked that you can kind of notice from them. What you also notice, though, is despite your somewhat more vibrant skin, at least one of them does clock you, and kind of
So,
like gives you.
Do
he
I
gives you a little
remember
nod.
it's like the fist on the heart thing, right? They do some kind of a salutation.
Yeah,
kind
there's
of
some
thing.
there's some kind of like just brief motion that you saw
I'll do
that
that.
one guy do. his eyes, you do that, his eyes narrow at you, not in like a bad way, maybe like
But
slight
like a, how do I
suspicion
know
of
that
like,
person?
yeah, what's up? And then you see him just thinking, and he just kind of like gives you a casual nod, like a somewhat friendly nod, right?
Okay.
But doesn't make a big fuss out of it as you all pass. Go upstairs. And as you're heading upstairs, there's this big open kind of like seated area with a bunch of tables and everything like that. Massive hearth in the back. Open fireplace, crackling away. It's decently warm in the building, but a lot of the windows are open. And it's kind of like the warmth of the building is counteracted by the coldish wind that blows in off the bay. So it's this kind of like mix between if the windows were closed and the doors were closed and you were just sitting in here, it would probably be a little uncomfortably warm. But because the windows are open and the cold air keeps kind of like blowing through the building, it kind of fluctuates in this kind of style of, oh, it's nice and cozy. Oh, that's a little chilly. Oh, it's nice and cozy.
Wait.
Kind of like scenario.
Come on, wasn't Johan going to come with us?
Yoham could come with you if you wanted to, but he was your kind of like reach out program. Like taking care of finding information and contacts for you while you were busy with other shit.
Okay. It wasn't like he was expected to come along. Okay.
No. The issue with that now would be it's only Yoham and Chella on the boat right now. So if you bring Yoham, which you could do, you could make the executive decision to bring him, but then you're leaving just Chella on the boat.
Okay. Yeah, we'll just leave him on the boat for now. I'll tell him I owe him a couple drinks.
Is Odie really eating like
It's
many
do
lobsters?
you come up you come up the stairs and you see at least one of your quarry immediately off to the right, seated on this big plush kind of like sofa in front of a table that is just filled with seafood. And Odysseus, Higgins, you have met Odysseus. I don't know that Yuvik or Bansii have met Odysseus before, but Odysseus is this large, rotund catfolk, orange and white-ish fur. He's Corsairian, so he's used to kind of like desert environments, kind of new to this kind of environment. He's wearing this kind of like very multicolored, vibrant thob, with kind of like a headscarf over his head with the two little slits for his little orange ears to poke out of. And right now he has a messy face, because you see him in the process of like cracking open a lobster and just this like dish of butter on the side of him that he's basically just like dunking this lobster in and then going.
Okay, important question. Does he have thumbs?
He has these kind of like little pads that act as thumbs, yes.
Nice. Okay.
I would say
Cats
it's a weird
thumbs.
mix of being like in between opposable thumbs and not quite, is kind of like halvesies, but they work well enough, seemingly.
Cool. Well, we approach.
Um,
I get there and say,
Yeah.
I just said, "Hey, Odie, how you doing?"
he doesn't seem to notice your approach. Like, there's a lot of people moving back and forth. He seems completely unperturbed by your approach at all. And just kind of like starts like whoop, looks up with this like half a lobster in his hand and just butter all over his maw. Ah, Higgins. And he kind of like casually flops the lobster tail out of his hand onto this big platter of half-eaten
Other
lobsters. Yeah. Sit, friend.
Yeah, this is my friend Nuvik and Bansii here.
How you doing?
He nods and he says, welcome. Nice to meet both of you. He looks back at you, Higgins, and he goes, friends like friends you have in your line of business.
Yeah, friends like Johan.
He gives you this, like, narrowed gaze of, like, you know, that only narrows it down to the two things that it could be that I need to know which one it is.
Yes, they work with me.
Ah! But do they work with you?
Yeah,
Not
Higgins. Can we work with you?
Normally.
I pet the cat. I can't pet
Uh-oh.
that cat because
Collect-
that cat doesn't
collect
exist,
that
but I
cat.
do have this cat. I pet this cat. He's
They
very
work
sleepy.
with me at my day job.
Yeah, it's that kitty. Because he goes, Mommy, look, it's the kitty.
It is.
I think that's Binks.
I fully expect if we continue to run this campaign, someone's gonna have to make a Telemachus NPC and a Calypso NPC, so I can
That's
get
right.
all
Yeah,
of the
yeah.
cats involved in this.
That's right.
Without a doubt.
So yeah, he goes, oh, of course, wonderful. What brings you here? Official. And he's speaking loudly to all of you, but you can tell in the way that he couches his voice that his voice doesn't carry much. It's a loud tavern anyways, but he speaks with a volume that is loud enough for you to hear easily. But
Actually,
he's not like
swap spots with
belting
me,
anything
Bansii.
out across the way. Say what?
Swap spots with me, Bansii. My big rock body blocks sound better.
Ah,
Is that how we're going with it? So he's
Look,
like,
My
"Are you
my
here?"
dude's a spy. He's doing all the things he can in a room to try and make sure that he's prepared.
Like, are you
He also
here
positioned
in an
one of the
official
glasses-
capacity?
The silverware over there so that he could see behind him. He's planned.
Oh, you
Wow.
placing silverware so you can use it as a reflector? Nice.
Yeah, but he does it casually, like he's just like looking through to see if any of them have anything to drink.
He's
in
like-
them.
As soon
I
as
see
you
him
touch
holding
as
the
soon as
spoon
you
like-
touch the silverware, you see Odie's face. He kind of frowns as he looks down at you touching the silverware, and he then looks at the giant platter of seafood. And then he smiles. Of course, friends, help yourselves.
Oh no, I'm good. But I was just
We
curious if
already
he had
ate.
anything to drink in there.
Oh, of course. He'll like wave a hand to like flag a server down to get drinks for everyone. Are you here on an official capacity?
No, not official. Just
You see, he
you
kind of
seem
like
a little strange.
he almost looked a little hopeful when he asked if you were here on an official capacity, and
You want me
he
to be
looks
here
maybe
officially?
a little glum that you say no. Like, oh well, what can I do for you then?
Not official yet, at least. Just noticed things are a little weird in the dock. We got here and noticed you weren't there.
Yes, that is weird. That's so I was curious about the official capacity because maybe you were here to tell me that was not the case anymore.
Did you get kicked out?
And everybody did. Everybody did. About 2.5 weeks ago, You know me. This is what I do. Information is a part of my parcel. Can't figure out who gave the order, but someone on the higher end of things decided they wanted to tighten protocols. All of us got ousted from the yards.
It wasn't insert name of chick we talked to in the office.
Harado,
Can't remember her
the
name.
consul.
Grotto, yeah.
I mean, obviously she would have the authority, but I wouldn't assume so since most of the reports I made went to Consul Harado. Or
What about
directly.
What about the foppish guy that was in there? I can't remember his name either. My notes all got destroyed when it said I can't use the version of OneNote I had.
You say, you know, a little bit of like this foppish guy, and Odysseus kind of like, thanks for, Valdez, Sebastian.
Yeah.
The vice
House of
admiral.
Alderaan or whatever.
Yes. He showed up about a week and a half, 2 weeks ago, so I don't think he had anything to do with it. But it's possible. It's not, you know, like it's not like he wouldn't have the authority to execute orders in advance of his arrival, perhaps.
What a great word, foppish.
It's all just
Sorry.
been extremely low key. It's been very strange. The part of the issue is it's not just that all the fences got kicked out, but they kicked out just about everyone. All my urchins, all the runners, all got barred from the naval district. I don't have
Something happened
any
prior to that?
eyes or ears in there anymore. There's one or two actual, like, you know, like clerks that are still on the payroll, but after what happened, they're all extremely skittish.
Did anything happen prior to the order?
Nothing crazy. I mean, nothing in our line of work that would seem like an escalating factor. Nothing got out of hand. The normal trading of goods and information and services, not a big deal.
So was the order just any civilians out of the dock?
Well, no, there's still plenty of civilian employees that the Navy employs, but it
Sure.
specifically no hanger-ons. If you did not have official contractual business within the naval yard, you're barred.
Seems like they don't want people knowing about something going on in there.
I mean,
Okay.
it seemed like they just wanted to really like tighten security, but at the same time, I don't really know why. It's not like people stopped buying from me. Now they just have to walk more to get to me.
Well, and an order
Like-
like that would have been archipelago wide. They would have been tightening all the bases.
And he shrugs. I haven't heard of anything happening pretty much anywhere else. It's just been here in Pausa.
Let me look around a little bit more and get back to you on that one. All right, next question. The hell's up with the raccoons?
Our Lucky Charms, what do you mean?
You're
They're
lucky.
everywhere,
Joe.
man.
The window. Like I glance out the window. Do I see any raccoons?
You see
They're
beady
literally
eyes, and in a tree, beady eyes staring back at you.
What color are the eyes?
They just gleam with the reflection of light coming from the
just like
tavern.
the reflective color.
Yeah.
Yeah, what the hell's up with the raccoons? There's so many.
It's the Bay of Mapachis, my friend. This is their land. There were
It's never been
hundreds
this
of them
bad.
when we came here, and I'm convinced there will be hundreds, if not thousands, when we are all in the dirt.
We saw one eating gunpowder.
He got. Did it live?
Well,
I mean, I think so after it
Unfortunately-
burped in Uvik's face.
He looks over at Uvik and is like, oh, wow, that's
Luckily,
there
none of
wasn't
us
any
smoke.
open flames around. That could have been way worse.
strange. What happened with that?
I
So they
wish I
just-
could
they
tell
just-
you.
They ran the hell off. I was looking for you at the time to see if there was someone smuggling into the dock through the using gunpowder as a cover, but
You think the raccoons were smuggling into the dock using gunpowder
no.
as a cover?
I think the raccoons were getting into something that was being smuggled in
Oh.
the gunpowder.
Okay. I was very confused for a moment.
But
That's
I mean-
news to me. I mean, the little buggers are everywhere, but I don't know, the culture of the place is to it's just bad form to harm or take advantage of them. They're just animals trying to live their best lives.
fair enough.
Just so happens their best lives are rooting around in all of our shit.
Ain't that the truth? Well,
I mean, was that
another
it? You didn't like
No.
it was just raccoons.
It was weird. I don't remember there ever being that many here. That's why it was throwing me off. And the fact that they were getting into gunpowder was strange to me because they wouldn't eat that. They'd have no need to go in there unless there was something in there they wanted.
It's strange. There have been more like clusters of the little bastards here lately, I guess. Like, there's always been a lot of them, and they're generally social creatures-ish. They don't tend to congregate a lot, but they kind of have been a little bit here lately.
Anywhere specific?
I don't think so. I mean, I deal in information, but raccoons don't often make the mark of important information, if you know what I mean.
Yeah. That
You
makes
got me
sense.
curious now, though. Huh. Weird. I mean,
I described the ship that we saw the gunpowder raccoons come out of. I don't remember myself what it looked like, but
Yeah, but Higgins would, be able to describe it and probably name it. Yeah, Odysseus will be like, oh, I do think I heard about issues there. Some punishments doled out, actually. Like I said, right, I lost most of my direct eyes and ears, but I do still have a couple of people on the payroll that feed me information. It's just it's a trickle as compared to a river.
sure.
It's just
Do you know,
seems-
is that ship a regular here? They knew?
Oh, it's he'll be able to tell you it's just a normal naval supply vessel. And it's always here. That particular vessel is a supply transport that actually just interacts between the naval docks and naval vessels that are anchored out in the bay.
Oh. Gotcha. So it's not really going very far.
Yeah.
It's ferrying goods.
Yeah, it's
Supplies.
it's just ferrying supplies back and forth, and actually he'll tell you like that is really weird because you're right. Like, well, why would the raccoons be on there? That vessel shouldn't be transporting anything but gunpowder. That's like its sole job. Because they don't want to, if possible, they will split supplies between different transports. Because they don't want to contaminate goods or anything like that.
Yeah. You know anyone from that ship? They come out this far for drinks?
He shrugs. No one of note. It's just, I mean, you have they're Navymen. You have a better chance of knowing who they are than I would.
Yeah, that's
I
fair.
just remember hearing about it in passing, because, try to keep an ear out for anyone who is receiving time in the stockyards.
Okay.
Or not stockyards, stocks.
Another question for you. You know anything about what's going on with the Raiden Whites? Anything weird?
What's going on with the Raiden one? What's weird?
I don't know. Just hearing some weird stuff.
I mean,
Some of
they're
them
Raiden
acting
Whites.
strange.
He just shrugs. They're Raiden Whites. They're always weird. But is there anything new?
There.
He says with butter dripping from his face.
How much do I
Bansii-
trust? How much do I trust Odie?
How much
Is it
do you-
like I know he's a criminal and I know he would sell my information if it meant a quick buck? But do I actually trust Odie at all?
How much you
I want to trust Odie.
you brought this character into existence. How trustworthy is Odie?
Mm,
Be honest.
Bansii doesn't trust anyone, so she'll read person to see how much she trusts them.
I would say that I trust Odie. I would say that there are things that I would keep close to my chest around him knowing his profession. Not that I think he would betray me, but he would think that what I've told him is fair game because that's what he does.
He's a criminal's criminal. He's a fence. He deals in information. This is his job. You come to him for information. He expects that anything, unless you tell him otherwise, he expects anything you tell him is fair game. He makes a living off of being able to supply people with what they need. He is well liked because he is useful and amicable. He is not as far as you're aware, he is not a high-end, high-level master spy that is running a huge, insidious ring or anything like that. He
got big by being useful.
He's good at what he does, and he's good to the people that he works with, but he is still a criminal, and they are still criminals, and at the end of the day, if shit goes sideways, you can trust him to look out for himself, but he's not just gonna sell you out just 'cause,
That's bad business.
Bansii, if you want to roll a power check for read person, be my guest. So that'd be a 14.
Yeah.
So that's a tier 2. I don't think there's anything that I haven't already said that Bansii would get a feel for otherwise. It seems like an extremely genuine person. He probably didn't get to where he is by being an expert in lying to people. He got to where he is by just going to a person and saying, hey, I'll give you 2 gold this week if you tell me of any rumors you heard throughout the week. And doing that with 20 people and creating a fucking infrastructure where he gets fed a lot of information. And then also being in contact with so many people, being able to move goods, being able to be like, hey, you need a thing? I know a person who's selling that thing. Or, hey, you need to get rid of a thing? I know people who are interested in buying those things. He's just a amicable fellow. Oh, I will say during this Bansii, roll me another power roll.
Whoa.
12 plus a 3. I'm assuming while this is all happening, Bonsi's keeping her ears open, right? Just like keeping tabs on the people that are moving around, keeping tabs on those that are nearby, and kind of like what some of their conversations are. So far, nothing of crazy note. A couple of like whispered, hushed things that you catch here or there, but nothing that is like nothing insidious or exceptionally violent. Right? Like you're not your attention isn't called to go prevent a murder or anything like that. And you don't catch anything so far that is like, oh, that's absolutely what we're looking for, or that's bad news and we need to get involved in that.
She should also be looking for that insignia or the picture.
Keeping eyes open.
Yeah.
Yep, absolutely. So, a little bit of interruption there on all of those things. So, Higgins, with that knowledge of kind of like your opinion of Odysseus, where do you want to go from here? Or anyone else, feel free to jump in on anything else that is happening.
I'll leave it at that. I mean, it seems surprising to him, so I don't want to give out more and get Yuvik in trouble for leaking Raiden White secrets.
I didn't say anything.
Odie will just be like, "You're just gonna drop that and leave it? Come on, man."
I don't know enough for it to be useful. When I do, you'll be the first to know.
Well, how would I know if it's useful if you won't spill the beans? Maybe it'll spark something.
I'll look at Odie.
What? It's true. It could.
Actually, seeing that this is like getting like weird, be like, actually, I was hoping that you might know that completely off topic, but I do have some business trying to locate a ship known by goes by the name the Narwhal. It's gone missing. I'm trying to find it. You heard anything?
Where'd it go missing?
I'm gonna have to go fucking.
Let me consult my notes.
Missing,
It
it went missing off the southeast coast of Rioa. That was the last known location.
A little ways away from here.
A good ways away from.
If it was perhaps more local or a very important ship, I might have more information on that. But I mean, ships go missing all the time, especially the seas between seas. The Great Sea can be a dangerous place, especially between the Commonwealth and capital. There's a lot of piracy in those areas. If you're not a part of a naval convoy, then your chances of getting through to any of the major ports are I don't want to say slim, but there's definitely lower than preferred.
Yeah, you're rolling the dice. I get it. Well, that's fine. I appreciate the help regardless.
When he says that, does Yuvik react in any way, shape, form, or fashion?
No, he internally smiles.
Gotcha.
He can't. He keeps that one to himself.
The pirate vessel going missing in the piracy laden.
Pirate infested waters.
Uh-oh. Odysseus will turn his attention back to Higgins and be like, well, how good's your information?
What specifically?
Huh?
On what specifically?
Red and white thing. Let's just say this. Let's say I have business contacts and supply scenarios that perhaps I'm now concerned for in making sure that they stay open and congenial.
All right. You keep this between us for the next 24 hours, at least.
Deal.
Okay. There
Deal?
seems to be something
So
going
you're
on
telling
with
me. Sorry, I was gonna make a joke. I was gonna say so that this has been a pact made in amber.
I mean, kinda.
Yeah.
Sorry,
kinda.
my brain would not let me let that go.
I just noticed, and this doesn't seem out of place actually, but Jay, I just noticed on this layout, everyone has amber bars and Bansii has blue bars.
Yes, I noticed
which
that too. I've already fixed it. I was going to mention it after the stream.
actually doesn't look bad because of Bansii's coloration anyways, but it is funny.
I'm good with
We
being
could
blue.
personalize
Yeah.
all the colors.
We totally could. Anyways. Sorry, again, interrupting Higgins between
I saw that and I
Odie.
immediately started fixing
No, it's
it.
okay. No, so we don't have a lot of information yet. We're still waiting on our crewmate to return. But there seems to be, I don't know if it's groups, a group, a subsect of the Raiden Whites that seem to be acting strangely. We saw something similar with the Slotsitsky
Close enough.
recently.
He kind of like screws his eyes up and he says, "Not really familiar with that name. It's a tribe
Lizards.
of Tetzalcoatl." Okay, gotcha.
Yeah.
Acting
and
weird.
they're
How?
acting not possessed, but influenced.
His eyes get real wide, like cat eye wide. He's just like, "What?"
Not sure yet. I haven't ran into him yet. We just have some reports from our crew member who's from the area.
It's like a internal conspiracy or something.
Don't know yet. So I was hoping you could maybe shed some light on it, but see where that got me.
I have contacts. I mean, I deal plenty of business with the metal. I mean, I can definitely look into things. Absolutely. What exactly am I looking for? Nothing. So
Yellow
to be
eyes.
clear, yellow eyes.
Yellow eyes. Seems to be
Like-
distinctive of this. Whatever it is.
You do realize some of the Raiden Whites just have yellow eyes, right?
Yeah. We'll assume all of them. Not
Whoa! 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 Whoa!
Just kidding.
The
No,
Raiden Whites
understood.
do
It's
tend to come in red eyes, black eyes, and yellow eyes is kind of like the main coloration of their eyes.
Totally understand. It's a bit different. Yellow was yellow. More of like a glowy amber. It's not a natural eye color.
Okay. Glowy amber and not
Aggressive.
quite possessed,
They seem to be-
influenced.
They seem to be more aggressive.
What kind of shit are you getting me into, Higgins?
I didn't want to get you into it, but you persisted with asking.
Came here asking for information. You either were gonna get me into it, or you had hoped I was already into it.
Well, if you were already into it, then my questions wouldn't have mattered. But then, when you weren't into it, I tried to back away, and you followed me.
I do. Information is the thing. Can't just be
Yeah,
like,
you
oh,
can't-
I have information, but I'm just gonna tease you with it, and not expect me
That's
to
fair,
want
but
the
you can't put
information.
this on me. Can't put it on me.
I'm just like munching on some lobster, and like every time I'm like they start talking, it's like I'm watching a tennis match.
Ah,
Either way, if you do have anyone look into it, make sure they're real careful. We don't know what this is yet. We don't know. For all we know, they could be really paranoid and watching for people asking questions.
I do a lot of business with metal. I have plenty of contacts. It should be a simple enough matter just to put out some feelers. And if there's anything going on that is of concern either in nature or size, well, it shouldn't be an issue to get some sort of information back. But he looks at you, and then he looks at Yuvik and Bansii, and he goes, "I gotta know. Running this up the chain? Is the Navy involved?
No.
Because you know what'll
don't
happen
want-
if this
Yes, we
turns
do
into a
know.
big deal."
Why we're trying to keep this quiet.
All right.
On that subject, if we needed to get down into the metal, you know anyone or any way that we could get there?
I can smuggle your ass into that metal in a heartbeat.
Okay.
I mean,
Don't necessarily
but
need it right now,
he
but
pauses and he looks you up and down, Higgins. He's I can smuggle their asses into that metal in a heartbeat. You might take 2 or 3 heartbeats.
I can probably find my own way in.
He just kind of like gestures to your size, just like them I can put in crates and barrels. You maybe I disguise you as like a lump of coal.
Just hold really still. You could work as a statue.
There we go. Decoration for one of the
I'm
raid
not
lights.
sure how many statues they import into the metal of large
It's a
Hakane
very
shaped
eccentric
men.
family.
It's just okay. Sure. Uh-huh.
Hold very.
All right, good to know. Last question. You know anything about a mercenary group, or I put air quotes, monster hunting group with a white bear claw across a black field? That familiar to you?
His eyebrows raise ever so lightly. Pauses. I might recommend as a person who appreciates you and your business, to probably not look further into that group. Did Bansii just jump across the table at him?
She did.
Lunge! What do you know?
Yeah, when he pauses before he says that, she will go right up next to him and sit down and stare at him.
So he says that to Higgins, and then kind of like looks over at Bonzi's like, "Hey, this is spooky." That was that's not me saying I won't talk to you. It's me giving what I consider to be a friendly warning.
Understood. But I'm not going to let this one go. So if you know something, and it doesn't have to come free. You need something done, let me know.
I think I know something. I don't know if it's gonna be what you want or especially helpful to you. I do a lot of business with the metal. And it's a pain in the ass what's going on in the naval yards. You seem pretty concerned with what's happening in the metal. So let's say we're just helping each other out in that regard. That one's a clean slate. I'll help you with the metal because it protects my business, and you keep doing what you're doing. I'll give you what I know for free, on the condition that you rightfully and logically look into what's keeping us out of the naval yard and try to fix it if you can.
Already planning to. So you've got a deal.
Fronts.
Second. Pact.
All right. Had a bad reaction to that. I had a bad encounter with what I believe to be the folk you're describing. And you didn't show him the symbol, right? You just kind of like described it slightly to him. He describes it back in a little bit more detail, right? In a way that pretty much matches the symbol that you have. There is always the chance that this is just a very similar symbol. That symbol in and of itself is not the most unique thing on the face of the planet. Not like bear claws on a field of some kind have not been used on banners or things like that before, but the coloration and everything like that does seem to match. So it does give you some indication that perhaps this is the same group or organization. He'll tell you, I was negotiating some trades with a merchant, a Higaran man. He kind of like squints at that and is Higaran. Pretty sure he was Higaran. Maybe not actually from Higara, but Higaran. As a merchant, things were fine. Everything seemed on the up and up. He had some goods he had procured previously that he couldn't rightly offload through normal channels. And things were fine. Right up until a group of about 10 people kicked in the warehouse store that we were negotiating in. And things got a little ugly.
What warehouse?
It was, I use a couple of different warehouses, in the docks. I try to keep them spread out into various different locations so that in case anyone comes sniffing around, they're only finding a portion of what I'm currently operating with.
Is it the one that burned?
No. I know which one you're talking about though. Real strange. They thought it was, they didn't find any, like, examples of an accelerant or anything to start the fire outside. There was a little bit of a panic there for a couple days. But, no, I didn't have anything in that one. I do have a warehouse in that area that I utilize for much the same situation, but that's just for cheaper goods for the most part. Most of the warehouses I use are actually kind of in this district or in this section. Anyways,
What happened when things got ugly?
they kicked in the door, and I had some people there, and the merchant had his people there, and things looked like they were gonna get tense for a second until they made it very clear that they were not here for or there for me or my people, which didn't go well with the merchant, because his people drew weapons and things got bloody pretty quick. Let's just say it didn't end well for any of his people, and I did not see him after that.
The merchant?
Yes.
Anything noticeable about the group that kicked in the door?
Well,
Anyone stand out?
A few of them wore that symbol that you described. It's kind of like a... I think he would know a word for it, because I think in this world it's a relatively not super common, but it's a common enough thing. It's basically like a... It's not a loincloth, but it's a piece of fabric that hangs from the belt to the side that is often decorated with a symbol of one's organization or association or something like that, right?
Sure.
And so several of them, he'll tell you that several of them had that symbol on that piece of garb. But not just that, most of them had like most of them had some sort of like either white hair or a shock of white to their hair. And several of them looked to be like Bannermen. Or of the size and like musculature of Bannermen, which
Bansii will cut in and ask to describe those to her.
So Bannermen, right, in the kind of contextualization of this world, Vanagar is a loose kingdom, more like a loose confederation of small kingdoms to the north
Those are
of
the Viking
Vasloria.
guys?
Is basically Viking guys. Is what
The ones
Bannermen
that
are.
she saw?
Yeah.
Okay.
Though I will say for Bansii, the Bannermen often come in that kind of like blonde hair, blue eyes kind of vibe scenario. None of the ones that you saw had that kind of like white hair or shock of white that he was describing. Nor did they wear that symbol openly, because you saw them just kind of like walking out in the open,
But
type
I
thing.
know that they're there.
But you do know
And
that
I
they're
know
there.
that
Yes.
they're around. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So he'll describe that situation to you, Higgins, and he'll tell you, I mean, out of personal self-preservation, I tried looking into them in the aftermath, and I couldn't find shit, honestly. Couldn't find out where they were staying. It found, a couple people here or there who had seen them. Seen a couple of them at some of the taverns in the area. Apparently the group had been here for a week or two. This was a few weeks ago, by the way. But apparently they had been here for a week or two. They had their own vessel. And now they have two. Because I didn't see that merchant's vessel the next day.
And do you happen to know what the vessel looked like?
He can give you the name of the merchant's vessel. And he'll describe it as probably he was a wealthy merchant. It was probably like a Herrick or something like that. I would have to go look into that and give you more specific information, but he in this moment is able to give you the name of the merchant's vessel and kind of what the vessel was.
Okay. What's the name?
He will be able to give you the name of the vessel.
Oh, gotcha.
Later, man. Later.
Sorry.
What the
I
vessel
thought you were
was.
wanting to describe the vessel later.
I am unable to give you the name of that vessel, what that vessel was. But he knows it,
So,
and he readily gives you that information.
You had trouble finding out much about them, but it sounds like you kind of knew the merchant a bit. What was he trying to sell you that they kicked in the door?
Well, he looks at you. He looks at you, and
Not here on business. This is personal.
he looks at Bansii and Yuvik.
Also
Yuvik's
here for
just doing
my
the I'm
personal
not
reasons."
here. Looks at Bansii. Stops looking at Bansii after a second, just because he's like, I don't think I'm gonna
You're the
appreciate the
owl stare.
response there, regardless. And he kind of like leans, and more quietly than he has been speaking so far, he says, "Look, no, it's not something I'm supposed to have my hands on, but it was a very large shipment of gunpowder, naval refinement, so the good stuff, and he had 7 cannons. But for context and understanding,
Where did he get 7 cannons?
the Navy has cannons. The
Yeah, that's
Navy uses gunpowder. No one else uses cannons, and few other groupings use gunpowder because the Navy is like, fuck no, that's ours. You don't get to use that. We don't share that information. And we will hunt and destroy anyone we find using that stuff. Obviously, this is just like a capital-centric thing. There are other countries with burgeoning, technology. Yuvik, you would know, Higara has not cannons, but they have like rocket batteries, basically. is what they utilize their gunpowder for.
Watches.
Yeah, that type of shit. But in this space, right, like in the Great Sea, with Rioja and Capital, with Vasloria, with the Commonwealth, these places are very firmly still medieval tech, whereas the Navy of Capital is rocking like Renaissance era like cannons, not muskets or things like that, but specifically the cannons. And that's one of the things they've been rocking this for probably about 15-20 years now in like wide usage. That's one of the reasons why the Navy of Capital is as strong as it is because they are brutal about it. They find they will hunt other organizations in their waters that try to utilize cannonry. Now, they don't have as firm a lockdown on black powder because gunpowder has a lot more utilizations.
Also easier to make.
Yeah, but the cannons themselves are a big fucking deal.
Okay.
Like, everyone at this table would be in a lot of trouble right now.
Like, Higgins just kind of puts his hand on his forehead.
Oh, God.
Odie.
What? What? I'm a fence.
You don't make
That's
enough,
what I do.
You don't make enough money?
Not that much money.
I look at the spread on the table.
What? He gestures outside. I could walk outside and pull up a trap myself for half this table. We're on the sea.
Probably for the best that you didn't get it. But where did this merchant?
Well, to my understanding, he came upon the aftermath of a convoy that didn't have a very good exchange with a pirate fleet. And
Yep,
you
there
know
are some pirates out there.
the meaning of that is that means the convoy was wiped out. Because if the convoy won, then it's naval procedure that either all those cannons are on the bottom of the sea or they're retrieved. One or the other. Like, the Navy procedures will sink their own vessels before they let them get commandeered or taken or that technology gets stripped.
Sure.
And for clarity, for a naval convoy to get taken out, a naval convoy using cannons to get taken out by a fleet of pirates, presumably not using cannons, means that had to have been a pretty big-ass fleet of fucking pirates.
I've heard tell a pirate that fashion fake cannons onto their ship just to make others surrender.
Every other word cut out for me.
I think that was, I have heard tell of pirates designing like fake cannons to be on their ship just to get people to surrender.
Oh, okay.
Also,
Yeah.
I don't know why my mic is like picking up sometimes the shit here, but not my goddamn voice.
I think it's just like a slight like deviation of like when you're relaxed and you're like kind of like leaning with your face slightly away type scenario.
Maybe.
Yeah. Who knows?
Who knows?
But okay.
Yeah, so that happened, and then the bastards disappeared. which is probably for the best, all things considered.
Okay.
Bansii will reach out and leave just like a little fidget toy in front of him and say thank you for your information, and then go back across the table.
I gotta cat the moment and just be like, he immediately looks at it and goes, "Pat, pat, 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 pat."
Oh shit, he's stimming.
Thank you, Odie. I really appreciate that.
Well, I mean, hopefully it helps.
It gives me more information about them. I don't know
I'm
where the hell they
gonna
went.
be honest,
but-
friend. There were some nasty people. I saw them fight for 12 seconds. I mean, sure, the merchant's guards were outnumbered, but even still, the way some of those folk moved, they're nasty.
Yes. Yes, they are. Well, keep an ear out if you find anything else about them. Send it my way. I'll be happy to pay.
Figure out what's going on in the naval yards, and I mean, that'll make my job of getting information a lot easier.
Yeah, well, we'll see what we can do.
Fingers crossed.
Bansii
Well,
will
Odie, I
catch
think we-
Higgins' eye
Oh.
in such a way to like try and impart that she has to tell him something, but not here.
He raises an eyebrow like, now or?
No, wait, doesn't Bansii have like a mental communication thing?
She has mind speak, but he doesn't speak mind speak.
Oh, gotcha. Yeah, that's
Oh.
that's
I
a
wanted her to be able to telepathically communicate, but I couldn't figure out how to do that.
Gotcha.
Can you still send
Well-
him a message in mind speak? He just can't comprehend
No.
it?
So mind speech is a specific language. It's like talking to mind flayers. Like
Yeah,
Oh.
it's
but,
a
like-
language. She could theoretically say something into your head, into your brain, but you're not gonna fucking understand it. Like,
Wow. that sounds like a
meanwhile,
great way to drive
Higgins has like a
someone
nosebleed.
insane.
You know,
yeah,
like-
yeah. Higgins
And,
just has the horror movie like eyes bleeding, nose bleeding kind of like scenario.
Mouse
Higgins makes
slowly
a
agape.
mental note to teach the two of you some simple hand signs for communicating in silence.
New downtime activity. Group downtime activity.
He can.
Absolutely.
We'll call it Shadow Cant from the College of Shadow.
There you
Shadow.
go.
Yeah.
So we can cant shadowly.
All right, Odie. I think we've interrupted your meal enough. But thank you. Really appreciate it. We'll see what we can find out and get back to you.
I'll touch base with some of like contacts in the middle. If I hear anything, I'll send a missive your way.
And Bansii will look at
Thank
him
you.
and say, "At least 24 hours." That was the deal.
He just zips his lips type thing. Like,
I walk over to the end of the table and just kind of hold out my hand for a quick thanks again.
he taps your hand. He doesn't have like a firm grip. It's very squishy, very soft.
Put your
right.
hands against each other.
Very lobstery. In this
Like I
moment.
love it that it's like a cat paw, but also it's probably like super fat too. It's like a
Yes,
super
it's
fat cat paw.
very meaty. You
You
get
got to
you
touch
get
the beans.
the nice contact with the beans. They're
He has
slightly
oversized
cold.
beans.
Big
Just
beans.
giant
Real big
beans.
beans.
When he drinks, does he dip his entire fucking chin in his drink?
Yes. He like holds up a
Okay,
bowl
good.
and just goes.
All three of them.
I want to do. This feels like people are getting up to leave. I want to do one more roll real quick from Bansii, rolling a power roll.
Do you notice the assassin?
Right?
16.
Is it the trick shot that's been leveling a gun at us this
That's
entire time?
entire time. The entire time. It's really interesting. So they've been consistently updating things, and it's strange because like when I was populating some of these tokens, this is really cool. This is a thing that I've always done. When I put tokens out, I always just put like I go to a random name generator and I just put a random name on the token just in case people want to talk to that person. I've got a name right there ready to go. Don't have to make it up on the fly.
Or,
They
like, Gwydden over there.
with a lot of tokens, they auto populated the names, but with certain tokens they did not. So it's clearly a thing they are still working on. But I thought it was cool. Anyways, Bansii, on a 16, you're still keeping ears out for little juicy beats of gossip here or there. I think you overhear just like the bare bits of conversation of a group across the way talking about from the snippets that you can get, talking about their employer and their employer being angry and, having taken a huge loss and blah, 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 blah. And there's this back and forth and everything like that. And again, this is over the course of like maybe a couple minutes that you're just hearing these bits and pieces of the conversation. So kind of keeping an ear out until it gets to a thing that I believe isn't anything you didn't already know, but maybe a secondary confirmation. Because it sounds like these people, their employer, had stock in that burned down warehouse. And now their employer is really upset, and because they took a big loss, blah 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 blah. And they're talking about, and you learned this from the watchman that you spoke to, that their employer had been storing gunpowder in that warehouse. And it was this
I think
big.
You mentioned that before.
It was this
I
big
was
surprise.
trying to decide.
Yeah. It was this big surprise because when the fire started, everyone was worried that it was going to blow up, and then it didn't blow up. And so like so you don't get anything new from eavesdropping on them, but you do get that kind of like reconfirmation of that existing, right? Of one of the threads that you have been pulling, gunpowder being involved there.
Okay.
Anything else, or are we done here at the Amber Dream?
Think we're done.
I am satisfied.
All right. It's so hard when you get teased with information and you're like, but I want more.
Right.
How do
and
I
it's
get
kind of
more?
Because I want to communicate this with the group, but I'm also well aware that this is not the right setting for being discreet.
Sure.
And yet I also kind of want to like who here is it like this, like who is talking about this?
Oh, so it was these people way off over on the left.
Do you think in standing where we are right here, everybody else is kind of like ignoring us, going back to their things, assuming
Oh,
we're
like
leaving.
if you wanted to like have a private whispered word in this loud tavern with your compatriots, yeah, absolutely. As you're kind of like getting up and you say your goodbyes to Odysseus and you all start to walk towards the stairs, easy enough to take a quick pause and like whisper something to them without it
Okay.
drawing attention, as long as it's not like, oh, y'all are standing there for 5 minutes having a whispered conversation. Because then a server's going to be like, hey, can you get out of the way of the stairs?
Yeah.
Right?
Okay, so I will quickly and succinctly whisper to my companions that I just investigated a fire in the warehouse district, and that they believed that that warehouse was filled with gunpowder, and those people over here and I'll just like nod my head over there, are talking about how it's their employer who suffered losses. We could investigate or we can keep moving. It doesn't matter to me.
Well, the gunpowder in a warehouse off of the naval base seems like a concern. Let's investigate. How do you want to do that?
I don't know, right? We could go sit here and pretend to eat, but we've been sitting with Odysseus, right?
Sure.
So I don't really know. I don't really
Now,
know how to.
I will
We can
reiterate.
wait for them outside and do this next time.
Oh God! Fuck. Wait for them outside. Ambush
That's
them.
right.
I will reiterate for all of my Navy people, right? Because this is like part of what you would have an understanding of in your positions and things like that, right? Like, gunpowder is used by a lot of other organizations and factions aside from the Navy. The Navy doesn't control gunpowder, although it tries to like dominate, that kind of trade. But there are plenty of groups and factions that use gunpowder. Specifically, a lot of gunpowder is utilized in mining, in quarrying, for very specific purposes. So it's not entirely uncommon. I'd say it's an uncommon good for a merchant to be trading in, but it's not like a rare or forbidden good for a merchant to be trading in. It's just most of that trade is probably done for very particular factions. It's the cannons that were the big deal that Odysseus was mentioning, and the fact that he specifically was like, it wasn't just black powder. It was like refined naval gunpowder type shit. The good stuff, not the stuff
shit.
that's just like, coarse sand. I think refined gunpowder is still kind of coarse sand. Anyways, my point being, so that is information that you all would know. What do you want to do from there, though? That's still up to y'all.
I mean, truly, all we would
what-
really want to know from them is their employer's name, right? Because that would be the next clue for us to follow, is like who actually owned the warehouse.
Yeah, potentially.
Do they have employee uniforms? Does
They
it
do
say
not.
their employer's name on their shirt?
Nope.
Dang.
They're not wearing badges?
Nope.
Come on now.
They look like what's the term to utilize? They look like thugs. They look like street toughs, right? Like they're all decently well built and or wiry, muscular-ish people. People that they probably are employed as low-end security. Not like high-end mercenaries or anything like that, but like, yo, I am a low or middle class merchant and I need to move this wagon from this place to this place. I'll hire 20 of these guys.
Oh, I have an
Okay.
idea instead. Bansii will go
alright.
back
You
over to Odysseus.
Yeah.
And very subtly ask him if he knows who their employers are.
Kind of like, you left, so he's already like cracked open another lobster. You come up and he's
His
like,
face is
huh?
recovered.
What?
He's
Looks over
in.
and he kind of like leans across to be able to like look. Looks back up at you, like furrows his brows and be like,
She'll bring out another fidget spinner.
sets down one half of lobster, reaches out delicately to take it. I do not mean this in a negative way, but you are a spooky lady.
Thank you.
That's intentional?
It's a hazard of my occupation.
Kind of like looks you up and down, narrows his eyes at you, sniffs twice, and like looks momentarily aghast and says, "Oh, oh," and much like the merchant that he gave a name to Higgins of, he will very easily give you the name of the merchant that he can absolutely identify those people. Good call. You just walked away from the person who deals in information and knows everyone. Great call to just walk back over to him and be like, hey,
Sorry.
who do those
Plan
fuckers
B.
work for?
Plan B was I was going to ask Yuvik to go over there and buy them around because he seems to be the most personable of the three of us. Buy them around and like see if they would give it up, but I felt like that might be easier.
Very fair. He takes the second fidget toy from you. I like to imagine you leave him with the name and he's just there with two fidget toys going, having forgotten his lobsters. And yeah, so I have some names and the description of a boat to get to you all between now and next time. Are you all heading back to the ship? Is that the next plan?
Yeah.
I will say, insofar as like time constraints go, is probably an hour-ish, half an hour to an hour-ish to get here. Roundabout. You spent a little while here, a little while getting back. You still have more of the evening that you could spend if you wanted to go investigate someone or something. Or if you're worried about getting back to the boat, you could head back to the boat.
Nope. So when we go outside, I will tell Higgins that I ran into Viking people at the warehouse as well. They weren't the same. They didn't have the insignia, but they were of the same people, and they might know something.
I will say Bannermen are kind of like Hakan, right? Like they're, or not as rare as a Hakan, but they're not especially common folk to just see around and about. There are Bannermen traders, obviously, but they're pretty few and far between. So just seeing a couple of Bannermen walking around in a city like Pouso, not unheard of, but not super common.
Okay. In the interest of time, I'm sorry. I'm like trying to get us like all this information as we're leaving.
Sure. Yeah.
I'll stop at this table with these guys.
Uh-huh.
And I'll mention that I am Bansii. And earlier today, I think, I was up at the warehouse and I scared some Bannermen. And does any of them happen to have seen them recently?
As you come and introduce yourself, where once there was recognition from one of these guys, there's now recognition from all four of these guys, as clearly they have, that one talked about you after you passed. And so, like, they all, like, look at you as you come up, and they're like, oh, hi. And you realize your contacts, your various contacts in the Watchmen have now spread to the point to where you're getting openly, like, recognized by members of the Watch, right? And so, you're already kind of, like, building, not quite renown, but that kind of like familiarity with the watch. There's a quick around between them, and one of them kind of like looks over and says, "There's a Vanagar trade vessel docked in the lower docks. I assume I haven't seen them myself, but I assume that's where they came from."
Awesome. Thank you so much. I'll buy them around.
Oh, awesome! Thank you.
And if you hear anything about fires, let me know.
Right.
But thank you. Thank you so much.
Fire lady, or not the fire lady. I don't want to say fire lady. The concerned about fires lady.
Yes, that's me. I'm
The
concerned
fire
about fires.
lady.
Yeah, right.
Bansii,
Right.
the arsonist.
The arsonist.
The fire lady asking about warehouse fires.
Okay, cool. That's a way to do that succinctly. Thank you, Jeremy, for
Absolutely.
giving me an out.
Look. When we're pressed for time, we can shorten roleplay down to like 20 seconds. Let's go. Anyways, the question I have now is what are your intentions? Are you gonna act now on any of the information that you have, or is it return to the boat for the evening? And act on your information that you've received tomorrow.
I think we're going to act tomorrow after we talk to Bro.
Okay.
I was gonna gonna leave that up to Higgins because at this point the Bannerman quest line is up to you, my friend.
If that is the case,
they've left. So
are they gone?
Well,
no, we have a ship. We have a ship. We can go.
We think they left.
Well, the individuals that Higgins is after, Odysseus believes left, but you, Bansii, encountered some other Vannermen that may or may not be able to provide you with information.
Right, and so
and
I have the
those
ship
are
location of
still
those
here.
guys.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we can go question them to see if they know of this other clan, although maybe not me because they're terrified of me.
They did not react well to you.
They
did
are
not
very
react well to
terrified.
you.
But I'm wearing makeup, so maybe it will be better.
Maybe?
Probably
Who
not.
knows?
But either way, there is a quest line if we want to go see if they have any info on that group.
I think that's a tomorrow thing as well. Let's figure out what's going on with the metal before we vault off onto some other thing and get sucked into it.
Sounds like
I'm so into it.
So into it. So into it. All right. Sounds like a plan. You all returned to the naval yard, to the docks, back to your vessel, and I need someone to roll me a power roll.
I just got booted. Oh, okay, never mind. There we go.
Yeah. Okay.
Damn, Bansii is consistent.
Bansii,
yeah, I know,
Bansii
right?
is pretty consistent. Actually, let's have Higgins and Uvik also
You're like,
roll me
not
power rolls.
you.
No. We'll make this. I don't want this to just be one person. This will be a group check. So now I need Uvik.
Lily wasn't high enough.
13. So tier 2, and I need one from Uvik. And tier 2. So all firmly in the tier 2 result. Midnight rolls around. Ambrosio does not return.
God damn it, Jeremy.
12:30 hits. Ambrosio has not returned. 1 a.m. Ambrosio has not returned.
Our boy.
All right,
Going back.
we're going back.
As you
All of us
all
this time.
decide you can no longer wait for your once again missing compatriot to resurface. And you gather, begin to head out. It is at that point, as you are walking down the ramp of your vessel, and the change in angle as you step onto the docks allows you to see slightly further past the nearest building and into the alley adjacent to it. You see the white, heaped form of a figure with blood pooling beneath it. And that is where we will end tonight's session.
Of course it is.
I'm gonna feel so responsible and so bad. But like, he wanted to prove himself. He wanted to do a good, and I wanted him to have that opportunity. And
you let him die.
Me.
You let him die.
No, Mitch, don't say that. It hurts my feelings.
Thanks for playing. I hope you all enjoyed. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye, everybody. Hey, everybody. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed the video, consider leaving a like, commenting, or subscribing. It really helps me out. If you'd like to see me live, head over to my Twitch at twitch.tv/thedistanthorizon.